Hello, family. It's your Keeping It Real coach, Keisha. We are here deep into setting our goals. I know we have several videos about it now, but this is how important setting clear, concise, interesting, juicy goals are. Because if you can't set your goals, you're going to be stuck. And this is why this topic is so important. So if you have come to our channel time and time again and watched all of our videos, thank you so much. I'm really touched. I really am. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so excited to get to know you. Please feel free to send me some questions and I'll be happy to answer them. Without further ado, let's talk about when to throw in the towel, because inevitably we're going to make a goal and it is not going to work. And what we tend to do is we just want it to work so bad. We keep trying to force it in there. We keep working towards it, getting no results. We feel like we're taking 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. It's costing us a lot of time and energy, a lot of money. A lot of opportunities are wasted trying to make this one goal work. And sometimes you just need to take stock, regroup, and amend the goal, get rid of the goal, or agree that this goal is so important to you that you understand all of the setbacks you may have, but you're still going to pursue it anyway. And all of those are okay. So, back when I lived in the beautiful town of Fresno, California, we call the No. And I lived in a place where it's just apartments. It's apartment after apartment. Most people were very low income to just maybe low income, but we were all po. We were so poor we could not even afford the R in the word. In this community, I lived on the second floor, and below me lived Mr. Cockroach. But adjacent to Mr. Cockroach lived Miss Viola. I love me some Miss Viola. She had a penchant for dressing clean. I'm talking, she would come out to go to like the grocery store with her hair curled. She called them her rollers. You know, she had the little pink ones and they were plastic, and she would always have a little bonnet on to make sure those rollers stayed, but hair would be done. On this particular day, it was a warm, sunny day. It was like you could see little butterflies floating across the sky. It was beautiful and blue, and all the trees were in bloom. She walks out of her apartment. She was wearing these skin tight leather pants, these knee high boots that were like 3, 4 inches tall. She had this beautiful geometric pussy bow blouse and a coordinating blazer. We had the red earrings with the red bracelet, and she always had this, I call it the old lady purse. It's like this square purse with the handle that she always had, like her arm slipped through and it kind of dangled down, but she looked sharp. Miss Viola was 87 years old, but she looked good. She drove a Lincoln Continental, and it was polished, new, looked beautiful. She said, "You always have to keep yourself together, no matter what the situation is." But Miss Viola was a person you just did not play with. You did not mess around. You gave her respect. Now, below me, the apartments were in a unit of 4, 2 above, 2 below. Below me, but diagonal, lived a group of college boys, like 4 boys lived there. And they would always play their music insanely loud all hours of the night. One night, it was Tuesday, like at 2:47 in the morning. I remember because I had a test the next day. The music was so loud, I swear I could hear my teeth rattle in my skull. My windows would vibrate because the music was so loud. So I went downstairs and I knocked on the door and I was like, "Hey, listen, Zuchi, please can you turn it down? It's Tuesday. It's 2:47. We got to get up early. Can you please turn it down?" He's like, he snickered and said, "Okay, yeah, sure. I'll turn it down." He turns it down. I get into my bed and that music goes straight back up. I go back down, knock on the door. Doesn't answer. Then I go to the landlord. She did not have gumption. Let's just put it that way. I knock on her door and I was like, "You can hear this. Can you ask them to turn it down?" And she's like, "Well, I don't really feel comfortable. I don't think it's safe." And she slams her door. I am at a loss. But then Miss Viola opens her door and she said, "Baby, don't bother. I got it handled." She steps out of her apartment wearing this this hunter green velvet house coat. It zipped all the way up. It had like this yoke and a ruffle. Her house shoes were, I believe they were leather. They were black, but it matched her bonnet. And you could see the little curlers peeking out of the bonnet. She had her glasses on pulled down to her nose, and slung over her arm was a black square purse. She knocks on the door. Zuchi answers. And she said, "Baby, I'm going to need you to turn that music down. It is too late. God ain't even up at this hour." And he said, "Get to stepping, old lady." And he slammed the door in her face. I saw Miss Viola's lip curl up, and I was like, "Let me run in the house and get my popcorn because it is on and cracking." She knocks on the door again, and she said, "Son, I'm going to need you to turn that music down." And he cussed at her. And then she calmly said, "What you don't know about me is I'm from the streets. So you can kindly turn that music down, or you can meet me out here in the struggle." And I was like, "Ducci, no, don't meet Miss Viola out in the struggle. You were going to lose." And then he cusses at her again and calls her old and decrepit. And she said, "I spent the better part of my life in and out of jail. I have spent the better part of my life as a lady of the evening. So I have seen things that you will never have seen. So you can either turn that music down or you can mess around and find out because I ain't going back." Then she reaches in her purse. I see the look of terror on Zuchi's face. He slams the door and that music goes down. Miss Viola turns around. She pulls a chapstick out of her purse and she puts it on her lips and she says, "You're welcome, baby." And she walks back into her house. Now, it was clear that Zuchi did not know how to reevaluate his goal because Miss Viola was about to reevaluate that goal for him. We have all been there. We are stuck on one goal and we are going to make it work come hell or high water, but we don't think about what we're losing in the process. We're only thinking about what we want. We're not thinking about, well, why do I want this goal? So it's important to ask yourself why. Whenever you make a goal, you have to understand the why. Why do I want this goal? And if your why is not good enough, well, you're going to have to reevaluate that goal or you're going to have to get rid of the goal because that means it's not a goal that's actually right for you. If your goal is going to hurt other people, it's not a good goal. Gots to go. And if it doesn't go, Miss Viola will meet you out in the struggle. If you are working on a goal and that goal does not seem to be making any progress, it may or may not be a time to reevaluate that goal. Here's how we know. Sometimes we are working on something that is difficult or time consuming. And if we just push through a little bit longer, that goal would be met. But then we give up a little bit too soon, and we could have just met the goal if we would have continued. How you know that you need to change it if this scenario happens. You're working at a goal, it's difficult, it does not seem like it is going anywhere. You do not believe that your character or who you are is changing or being shaped on your way to meeting this goal. That means that you are stagnant, your character is stagnant. You are not getting any benefits of building a stronger constitution. Then it's probably time to change that goal. Now, you should keep working on the goal if you feel like progress is being made or you see it being made, or if you are getting the benefits of really pushing yourself. Maybe that pushing yourself is being consistent, having discipline, not letting motivation get into your way on the days that you're feeling unmotivated. When things get hard, you are able to work through it and build your confidence. So you see, all of these things are making you into a stronger person, really fortifying your character. The person that you were before you started making the goal has evolved in a positive way to a new and better, shinier you, jazz hands, from meeting that goal. So, therefore, you should stick with that goal. So, on that fateful night when Zuchi would not turn that music down, me and Miss Viola had the same goal. I call it Operation Turn That Mess Down. It's 2:47 in the morning. We're trying to sleep. Our goal was get the music turned down, not just for us, but for everybody in the apartment. Miss Viola could have easily given up after Zuchi slammed the door in her face. She could have given up after Zuchi cussed at her. She could have given up after Zuchi called her really mean names. But for her, it was the principle. She knew if she turned her back, her character would have been diminished. So, therefore, the goal was a good goal to have the music turned down because it wasn't about Zuchi, it was about Miss Viola and myself sticking to our guns, doing what was right, and really being upstanding neighbors. And that was the major point. Through adversity, and dare I say, some verbal abuse, Miss Viola held strong to the goal. Now, I wouldn't recommend the hood tactics that Miss Viola used, but the music went down. We met our goal. 2 days later, Zuchi upped and moved out. I don't know if she had further conversations with him. All I knew was there was a for rent sign on his door. He was like, I'm not messing around and finding out. Think about your life where you had any goal and you messed around and you found out and you really wish you hadn't. It's as simple as changing your mind. I'm not thinking this goal is for me. It's time to do something else. It's only throwing in the towel. It's only giving up if you were on your way to something great and then fear got in the way and you gave up. But when you reevaluate something, you are taking calculated measures to increase a positive outcome, which means that you're awesome. That's what you should be doing. So when you think, I can't give this up because I'm going to look like a fool, who cares how you look? It should be, my character is not changing. I'm not seeing the benefits, and it does not feel like the goal should remain the same. So therefore, I'm going to change it a little bit or a lot because I have a major future goal that I want to reach. And by tweaking this goal, I can get to the goal that I really want to be at. That's what you should be doing. Some of us have been Miss Viola, in and out of prison, hustling on the streets, really damaging your characters and really being stagnant in your lives. But the good thing about life is it's not where you start that matters, it's where you finish. So you can choose to finish on top and build great consistency and discipline and make awesome goals that will allow you to shine. Or you can, as we talked about last week, be the victim and cry and complain about it, but make no forward movement. You can be the dreamer and dream about all the things that you will do when it happens, and still be living next to Zucci, bumping his terrible music at 2:47 in the morning. The choice is yours. So I'm going to say that again. Where you start is not as important as where you finish. That's what counts. So, weirdo family, start making some of these goals count. Or just start making goals. Simple as that. Now, I'm wearing some really great earrings. They say bad. I love these things. Because we bad and we know it. We're going to have to stay bad because in the next few weeks, I'm going to give the exact recipe that you need to make effective goals that work, that you will see progress. Now, go back and watch the other videos because we were getting ready to change how we think, change how we approach things, understand how to deal with setbacks, and really get ourselves ready for success. Now, be warned, when you start to set these goals, you put these things that you cannot see, feel, taste, or touch. That's called intangible. You put these intangible things into motion, and then your life changes. Things and people that you thought were acceptable before will no longer be acceptable. This is what happens when you level up. So go back and watch the other videos so that you can be really ready in the next few weeks to get the goal recipe. Okay, weirdo family, you know what time it is. It's time to peace out. Remember, I put new videos out every Friday, and look out for some bonus videos throughout the week. Until next Friday.